Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Business Spotlight interview. And we've got a treat for you this afternoon. We've got Sarah from SP Innovation. Sarah, tell us all about your business.
Yeah, so here at SPG Innovation, we're really focused on sustainable nutrition. So foods and ingredients that are good for ourselves and healthy and good for the planet. So working in a variety of different things, from plant-based foods to utilization of waste streams to salt, sugar, fat reduction. Based in Nottingham, we've got a food grade facility on the Nottingham Science and Technology Park, and a team of food scientists and chefs.
Brilliant, absolutely. There's a lot in there, so let's pull a few threads out. This is really hot news. People are really talking about this. So you're talking about plant-based foods. Is that a substitute for meat, or what are we actually talking about?
Yeah, so within plant-based foods, there's a variety of different things. So our focus is primarily actually moving away from those meat mimics and using British grown beans, pulses, protein sources to create something that would go on your plate, a kind of center plate option that could replace meat while not pretending to be meat, because we see there's actually, the market is quite saturated with meat mimics, burgers, sausages, chicken pieces, and a lot of people are actually looking for something more innovative, something more interesting, with more responsibly sourced ingredients as well. So we have developed over the last sort of 2 years a range of products which are a center plate option, and we've actually launched a new company under the brand of Rootaful, a new brand of products under the name Rootaful, which has got a variety of different products that sort of fit that category.
So essentially what you're doing is actually research and development, developing new products, and then going into partnership with people to actually manufacture that and put it into the supply chain.
Yes, yeah, exactly right. So we work, we're really focused on that innovation and that really early stage. We've got a lab and food scientists, so looking at really innovative ideas to create ingredients and food products. The route to market is sort of a few different routes. One is to work with a large manufacturer to get the ingredients into their products, maybe license the technology in. Others is to work with co-manufacturers and get products out on the market. So we've got different sort of flexibility. We also work with clients to help develop products that are bespoke for them as well.
Well, that's really interesting, and again, it's a hot topic. Is that the food supply chain sustainability? We're
Yeah.
actually trying to actually utilise the British produce in a far more innovative way.
Yeah, and also we're moving as an industry sort of away from meat slightly and into plants, but the systems that we've got in meat tend to be that we'll use every part of an animal in some format, but plant-based we've not got there yet. So actually looking at, yes, the protein source is really interesting, it's going here, but what about the other parts of that plant and where are they going? So we talk about sustainability, but we're actually looking at the entire supply chain and making sure that we actually utilize what is grown in the UK or locally, and we actually utilize every single part of it, not just the star ingredient.
That's really interesting. I mean, I'll put that in sort of like layman's language. If you actually ask, so if I have a carrot,
Yep.
we're eating the carrot, but we throw away the green bit at the top.
Yeah, exactly. So we're working with various different companies. One is a company that's actually, they harvest broccoli, but 80% of broccoli is left in the field or wasted, so that we can have the little top. So what can you do with the rest of the broccoli? And they've developed some really cool technology around actually creating other ingredients from the rest of that plant. So it's things like that, and just getting smarter with the way we use our food.
That's absolutely brilliant. What a story. And thanks for sharing that with us. So, your journey, was this something you always wanted to do, have your own business?
It probably was without realizing it, I guess. As a child, I've always liked food. I've never really imagined that I'd end up working in food. I did chemistry at university and a material science PhD, and thought I'd go and work in the pharmaceutical industry and earn lots of money. I ended up in the food industry because I love it and I like making interesting foods, and the whole sustainability journey is really important to me. In terms of owning a business, I think the signs were there when I was a kid. I used to bake cakes and make my family buy them off me and things like that. So I think now I look back, I always think actually there was an entrepreneurial streak right from the beginning, but it never really crystallized in my head until I was working in another company and got made redundant when I was about 9 months, well, nearly just about to go on maternity leave. We closed the business down. So I knew it was coming, but I couldn't walk into an interview and get another job. So I thought, actually, I've got a little bit of time now. I'll set up a business, and it's kind of flown from there. And I don't think I can imagine myself doing anything other than running a business now.
Absolutely brilliant. What a great story. Absolutely fantastic. So, what have you been your biggest learnings? What have you learned from this in business and in life?
I think having sort of a mission that you actually, we're really passionate about that sustainability and that making sure that actually the foods that we produce are not harming the planet and are doing good. And having that kind of keeps everybody on track and in focus. And it also helps us getting distracted from, oh, that looks something really interesting over there, but does it fit with our criteria? I think that is really important, and it enables us to say no to things that they may make us some money, but they don't fit with our mission of the business. So I think having that is really, really important to us. And it's something that I've learned, because I think in the early days of the business, I was just kind of following, we call it chasing squirrels. Whenever something's really interesting, you kind of run after it. And it's maintained, we still do that to a certain extent, because we love early stage ideas and exciting things, but being able to check whether it hits our criteria is really important. And the other thing is actually engaging with customers and understanding your market and making sure there's someone out there who'll buy what you've got.
No, that's just fantastic. Bright, shiny things, chasing bright, shiny things. Not
Yeah,
sometimes you have to, but a lot of the time you don't. So, absolutely fantastic. So, who's the first person that comes to mind when you think of success?
oh, that's a difficult one. I think it's probably more businesses in our field of kind of some of the businesses that we really look towards. We really like some of the people like Wicked Kitchen and their chef Derek Sando, who we really like what he's done with the business, the fact that he's put plants sort of center plate and built a brand and a business that's gone into Tesco's and in partnership with Tesco's and is now sort of global. I really like that messaging and that sort of yeah, it's really, really exciting.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. So, what does the future look like, and what are the challenges moving forwards?
So the challenges are, as always, cost, and especially with cost of living. Some of our products tend to be more premium, just because they're early stage, and the goal is really to get more people eating healthier, sustainable products. So we need to drive the cost of our manufacturing down and drive the cost of our ingredients down. And we're working at various different ways of doing that, less processing, trying to use more whole ingredients. So cost is always key in the food industry. And also then there's the risks that actually trends are also very key in the food industry, and everyone's harping on about sustainability right now, but in 2 years' time it might be something different. We don't think this sort of trend is going to go away. We think it's important that we drive the change in the food industry that we're talking about, but consumer trends are always very difficult to predict.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and I think that's a really good share. But my own personal belief is that literally the sustainability is linked heavily to climate change.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think we have looked at the food industry and identified where things need to change, and things like long supply chains and importing lots of ingredients when we could be growing them in the UK. And actually, we've taken on that challenge to try and be that change that we want to see, rather than sitting there and complaining about it. We're trying to challenge the industry and make people make those changes, and make it accessible to consumers as well, so it makes it easy for consumers to make those changes.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Finally, what is the best advice you'd give to an 18-year-old you?
I think I should have done what I've done now earlier. I see students now and they're starting businesses and they're doing really cool stuff in university, straight out of university. And I think just actually have the courage to stand behind the ideas that you've got and go for it. I think maybe I messed around too long in somebody else's business when I could have just gone for it.
Brilliant. Sarah, thanks for that share. Thanks for that learning. An absolute fascinating story. Thanks for your time.
Lovely to talk to you.